finding that many crops that were once overlooked may play an important role in feeding a hungry planet. Today's global village truly needs a global grocer. As part of our salute to international crops, I will be pointing out some of these plants as we go through the greenhouses. In fact, up ahead, on the terraces to your right, we're growing rice, an essential food source. We have successfully adapted rice to grow in many different climates. Some strains even do well in hot and dry areas, much different from the humid subtropics where rice once originated. And speaking of adapting, the horned cucumber is a good example of how a crop from a specific locale can adapt to its environment. The cucumber is native to Africa. Its horns provide a natural defense against foraging animals. Cassava is very similar to the potato. It originated in Latin America, but today is a dish, which makes it a great candidate for areas where water is in short supply. When I mention farming, you probably don't think of fish, but fish farming or aquaculture is proving to be another innovative technique for feeding a hungry world. Now, the tilapia and the sturgeon are well suited to aquaculture because they thrive in high-density conditions and can endure various climates. Some of the fish that we raise here are served in our Walt Disney World Resort restaurants. American alligators are no longer on the endangered species list. That's because we have over 1 million here in Florida. Some are raised on farms where they're hide and meat. Others play a key role in what 100,000 fish in this one aqua cell in a year. Worldwide, aquaculture is growing rapidly and already produces over 20% of all the fish that we consume. One day, ocean farming may be as common as traditional farms are today. Latin America has been the birthplace for many of the world's important crops, and one example, our purple corn. Now, the corn, or maize as it's often called, had small ears and tiny kernels, but after generations of selective breeding, corn has developed into a crop that means survival for millions of people around the world. You may notice we have no soil in our greenhouses. Instead, we're growing our crops in sterilized sand using a computer-controlled drip irrigation system to provide just the right amount of water and nutrients to the roots of the plants. Better resources is the key to sustainability. Here we're experimenting with even more innovative methods of growing. By planting vertically, we're able to grow more in less space. Vertical growing also, same techniques at home by using trellises. Asian cooking is becoming very popular in America, so you may recognize some of the exotic Asian plants that we have growing here. Now, our wing bean on either side of the boat you may not yet be familiar with. We've only recently recognized the wing bean as a natural source of protein. Every part of the plant is edible. It tastes great in stir fry and can now be grown in over 50 countries. For those of you with home gardens, you know about pests. Each year, pests destroy about 1/3 of the world's food crops. Here at the land, we use integrated pest management. By growing plants that are disease resistant and releasing beneficial insects to eat pest insects, we're able to reduce the use of pesticides by 60%. The more we learn about how plants grow and thrive, the closer we move to true sustainability. In these last greenhouses, we're dedicated to exploring cutting-edge research to help us reach that goal. Our flying squash here is being grown in a process called aeroponics. The exposed roots are getting all the oxygen that the plants need from the air, while the water and nutrients are sprayed on as they pass through the mist boxes. Here in our lab, Epcot scientists are helping with the Department of Agriculture, and together they're improving plants through biotechnology. In this last experiment with NASA, we're learning how to grow plants for future space colonies. Now, this is important, not only for food, but also as a way to recycle.